European leaders so far seem ready to work with the Trump administration. We've had two top leaders here speaking in Davos. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said the US remains a vital ally and that he intends to keep it that way. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, she emphasized cooperation when she gave her remarks.
We will need to work together to avoid a global race to the bottom, because it is in no one's interest to break the bonds of the global economy. Rather, we need to modernize the rules to sustain our ability to produce mutual gain for our citizens.
Suzanne Lynch is the author of Politico's global playbook. I'm not sure I approve not wearing a coat.
I have it quietly in the corner there.
I know, but I have a policy on this programme. I follow my guest's lead, and I didn't realise that you had surreptitiously removed your coat. Well, I'm not taking this off.
I won't comment on your snowshoes. We'll keep that private.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you?
Good to be back here, back at Davos.
Now, what do you make of it? Von der Leyen's speech, I mean, she focused on Russia, she focused on all of those things, but I sort of feel she missed the point, in a way.
Yeah, she didn't mention Donald Trump. I mean, today was about political reaction, I think, to what happened over the previous 24 hours. So we had the speech by Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the European Commission. You know, she talked about kind of the need to calm things down when it comes to global trade. She tried to champion Europe, skillfully overseeing the big problems Europe has in terms of competitiveness. She also talked about their commitment to the Paris Climate Accord, but never really took on.
But when I watched her, and then even with Olaf Scholz, it's almost as if the elephant in the living room, and they should have been coming out, sort of, I would have argued, saying, listen, we hear what Mr. Trump says, we are not going to be bullied or bowed. But there was none of that.
There was not. I mean, I think that has been the policy of Europe since the election last November, not to antagonise Donald Trump. Olaf Scholz used the phrase cool heads. We need cool heads to deal with the US president. So they seem to be taking this softly approach. Now, the big question is, what are they saying behind the scenes? But publicly, they're not prepared to call him out.
Is it one of those things they actually don't, I mean, they may have a plan, but here they have a bull in a china shop on the other side of the Atlantic. And Rana Fruhauer, writing in the FT, put it beautifully. They're all about process. The third committee of the second directorate of the 13th meeting will have the council meeting, which the commission will, you know how it goes. You live that life.
Well, I do, and I'm in Brussels, and you are right. And the other problem, of course, is that France and Germany are quite weak at the moment. Olaf Scholz, who was speaking today, he's facing the political fight of his life in an election next month. So what will be interesting is, will Donald Trump want to talk to other people in Europe? Viktor Orban, Giorgia Meloni, the Italian leader, more right-wing politicians that he sees the world the same way.
What about Zelensky's speech? I went into the conference centre to see it and hear it because I wanted to feel it as much as it was coruscating in the way he basically said to Europe, no one's thinking about you on the other side of the Atlantic. You're making yourself irrelevant.
Yeah, it was interesting. In this speech, we were all waiting to see what would his first reaction be to the installation of Trump in the White House. And in fact, he turned his attention to Europe. He took on Europe. He railed against their defence spending, saying that people, you know, are not noticing them, as you say. So it was an interesting rhetorical twist by him. Of course, is he speaking to an audience of one? This is the big question. Is he just deciding he needs to get the Trump administration on side? The US matters when it comes to what happens next in Ukraine.
There are two Davoses this year. There are the financiers, love what they're seeing, and there are the social policy people who are worried. I need you to choose a colour.
Green.
Of course. Come over here. The next 4 years in one word. Now, if you look at certain areas, it's divisive, deregulation, it's division, blah, blah. But some people are saying that's Klaus Schwab. Others are saying growth, self-confidence, unpredictable. Have a word and write it on. What word would you say? Turbulence. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
We will speak to you more as the week wears on. Thank you.